before starting, let us get oriented with the section. So this is a sagittal section of the male pelvis. So here is the anterior view, here is a posterior view. Obviously you can see the penis in front. So this is the anterior and this is a posterior view. So this is the pubic symphysis, and here you have the sacral vertebrae. Okay. Now obviously we know there are two outlets for male pelvis. One is the urethra, through which the urine and sperm passes out. So if you track the urethra up, obviously there is going to be a reservoir, that is the urinary bladder. So that is how the urinary bladder is present in the as a first viscera in the front. Just behind the pubic bone you have the urinary bladder, 8. Alright. Now if you go back, the next orifice is the anal opening. So the anal canal, if you track the anal canal up, you have the rectum where the feces is stored and passed through the anal canal. So rectum will be the posterior structure in the male pelvis. Now the purpose of this video is not to show you the section of the pelvis, but it is to just to tell you how the sperm is produced and how it reaches before it passes out through the urethra. Okay, now here you can see the scrotal sac. This is located outside the pelvic cavity. Now the testis is located inside the scrotal sac, that is number 1. Around the testis you can see the epidermis. It's like a worm-like or a snake-like structure which winds around the testis, comes down. So this is the head, this is the body, and this is the tail. And here it goes all the way up as the vas deferens, as you can see 3. Also you can see the course of the sperm inside the vas deferens here. Now before that, the sperm per se is produced from the testis, which is carried through the epidermis, and it is carried up along the vas deferens. You can see here. Now this vas deferens enters into the pelvis through the inguinal canal. Okay, so this is how it enters in the pelvis, or the pubis it goes, and now you have your urinary bladder in the front. So it cruises above the urinary bladder like this, and it goes behind the urinary bladder like this. Now let's stop for a while and let's see what happens next. So here you have the urinary bladder in the front. You can see the exit of the urinary bladder, that is through the urethra. So urethra, the moment urethra exits the urinary bladder, there is a organ called prostate, which is actually embracing the urethra at the exit of the urinary bladder. Okay, so the urethra inside the prostate, we call it as a prostatic urethra. Now next the urethra pierces a membranous structure here, so we call it as a membranous urethra here or here, not marked. Now as it enters the penis, we call it as the penile urethra, 9, goes like this. Okay, now coming back, now we told about the vas deferens coming to the posterior aspect of the urinary bladder. Then before entering into the prostate, it joins with another duct for the the vesicular gland. So this is the vesicular gland, which along the duct of the vesicular gland and the vas deferens together it forms an ejaculatory duct. You can see the ejaculatory duct, that is number 6 here. So this ejaculatory duct will enter into the prostatic urethra. You can see here prostatic urethra, and from there it will go to the membranous urethra, where you have one more gland, not the corpus gland, 7. This will also produce semen, which will enter into the urethra. So at this level, the sperm will be nourished or accompanied with what we call as the semen. So semen is produced from 3 components. 1 is a seminal vesicle here, 2 the prostate per se, and 3 the corpus gland. So all this will produce semen, but the sperm is produced from the testis. So once more, sperm will be produced in the testis, carried along the epididymis then along the vas deferens enters the pelvis, goes above and behind the urinary bladder, where it joins with the vesicular gland, which combines to form the ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct will open into the prostatic urethra. Prostatic urethra, it will continue its course. Course is the membranous urethra, where the corpus gland will also produce semen. So this sperm along with the semen will be carried along the penile urethra, and it will ejaculate outside through the penile urethra. Thank you.